What fact did you learn at an embarrassingly late age? I was 23 on a trip with my girlfriend in San Francisco. We were both getting ready for the day in the bathroom and I needed my hair gel, so I asked if she could hand me my toilet treat bag. She seemed confused. I again asked, "Can you please hand me my bag of toilet treats?" She ran out of the bathroom laughing. I named a goldfish Rainbow when I was 7, because it kept changing color every few months. I told friends about this fish for years like it was some mystical kaleidoscope fish. It hit me in the face a couple months ago that the fish was not changing color. My parents were just replacing it when it died without telling me. I didn't realize that Mike Myers plays both Austin Powers and Dr. Evil till the third Austin Powers movie came out. My dad would tell me bullshit things to mess with me as a kid. Usually he would remember eventually to correct it. Sometimes, however, he forgot. I went through the first 17 years of my life thinking an artichoke was a nocturnal rodent. Went to Italian restaurant and was horrified to see artichoke hearts on the menu. My girlfriend still gives me shit for it 3 years later. My ex-wife did not know helicopters could hover until around age 23. She saw a copter over a scene in San Diego and asked me, "How is that helicopter just floating in one spot?" I was like, what the fuck? When I was a young boy I had a black football coach. I am white. I asked him, "Hey coach, do black people get hotter in the sun than white people?" And he responded, "Well, I don't know, I have never been white." And then it hit me, oh. I always bragged that I beat my dad at basketball when I was 4 or 5, so much so that it never occurred to me that he let me win until I was in my late teens. Just talked to a coworker the other day who didn't know his name was Jason until 3rd grade. His initials were JT and his family called him by that, and so he thought that was his name. During roll call in class the teacher was asking for a Jason, and he just sat there thinking some sucker is late for class. Then the name JT was never called and confusion ensued. I didn't know that sex required motion until I was 18. I didn't understand an erection or ejaculation. I thought you just stuck it in and went to sleep, and that was sex. My husband does not let me live this one down. For most of my life I assumed Neil Armstrong was a black man, because I would never see Neil outside the spacesuit, but I had seen Louis Armstrong. It never occurred to me that there would be anything unusual about a black astronaut in the 60s. Edit. It truly warms my heart to know I was not alone in this childhood misunderstanding. My best friend freshman year asked me how accurately a man had to jizz on a woman's breasts to get her pregnant. Boy, was that a surprise to him. I thought, "I feel like a dog in heat," meant that you felt uncomfortably warm, like a dog in hot weather would feel. I was in the back of my friend's Suburban on a road trip through Southern California when her parents asked if we wanted them to turn on the air conditioning. "Yes, please, I feel like a dog in heat." There actually are carrots in carrot cake. I assumed it was a joke, because it's orange and we were all in on it. I didn't know that dusters were used for cleaning dust off furniture until I was in middle school. When I misbehaved, my mother would beat me with a duster, so I assumed its only purpose was to be a beating stick. I figured the fuzzy part of it was to provide comfort for my mother's hand as she hit me. I only learned this year that ponies are not just baby horses. I was 34 before I realized that the Beatles spelled their name Beatles because it has the word beat in it. I never really considered it before, just kind of thought it was a funny way to spell Beatles. I was 23 when it came to my attention that an engagement ring and a wedding band are to separate things. Isn't one expensive symbol of uniformity enough? I was a few months away from turning 17 and The Dark Knight was coming out. I checked IMDb to see what actors and characters would be in it. And that's when I learned that Harvey Dent's evil nickname is Two-Face, not toothpaste as I had always thought. I never saw the name written down. In the animated series, half his face was white and the other half was blue, and I just never really questioned it. One time in 7th grade science, my class was having a discussion about volcanoes and then out of nowhere, a kid in the back yelled in the most surprised voice ever, "Wait, volcanoes are real." A coworker was helping me move something outdoors and he suddenly is staring at the sky bewildered. I asked if he was okay and, I shit you not, he says, "Whoa, I can see the moon, and it's day." He is 24 and I had no idea how to respond to that. Oh man. So, when I was a kid, my mom was a little unstable and sort of desperate for male attention. This, coupled with the fact that we are from Northeast Tennessee, means that she always managed to marry some real classy motherfuckers. One day, I guess I am around 13 or so, her current catch Rodney comes in from mowing the lawn super worked up over something. After a minute or two, he is finally calm enough to explain what was wrong. It was day, and he could see the moon. And that ain't right. I was a huge nerd as a kid, and dreamed of being an astronaut. I knew a lot about space, and especially the moon. He happened to say this in front of one of a handful of kids that knew the cycles of the moon. I tried to explain to him that roughly 14 out of 29 days, the moon was visible during the daytime. He would not have it. He was convinced Jesus was coming right then, like, yelling at us all to start praying as he called his pastor. Jesus was coming. It took a few phone calls for him to calm down enough to finish mowing the lawn. Sometimes I wonder how life is treating that guy. Freshman year. I had never been told what 50 Shades of Grey was about, so I assumed it was about the Holocaust. It just sounded like it was about the Holocaust to me. Don't really know why. I am 21. Until about a month ago I didn't know that when people talked about New England that they were talking about the northeastern US. Edit. I have lived in the US my entire life. Added too, because a lot of people keep asking the same things. I will clear a few things up. I thought the New England Patriots were from a city in New York. I know that New Mexico is a state and not in Mexico. I didn't realize you were supposed to chew sunflower seeds to get the seed inside. I thought you just ate the black seeds whole. Difference between foreshadowing and foreplay. Grandmother was amused. Mom was mortified. I thought queef meant a really loud, prolonged but fart. I gave myself the moniker Queef Master because I can fart on command. No wonder my friends' parents thought I was a weird kid. I always thought the song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus meant that the mother was having a torrid affair with a fed dude in a red suit, not that it was the father dressed in costume. Somehow the conversation of superhero names came up with my girlfriend, 29, the other day, and she mentioned Wolverine being named after wolves. I kinda looked at her and said, Wolverine was named after wolverines. She stared back blankly. One Google Images search later and I had taught a biology major about a new animal. How to tie shoes. When I was little and my mother tried teaching me, I simply said I didn't feel like it. This charade continued until she just gave up. Years of Velcro shoes ensue. In the 7th grade, my older sister set me down and said something along the lines of, you need to fucking know how to tie your shoes. And that's when I learned to tie my shoes. I still suck at it. I take a good 30-45 seconds per shoe. It's bad. Edit. I am a lefty. Added to. Misread title. Didn't see the word fact. Apologies. I still suck at tying shoes though. At age 17, finally learned that a Mini Cooper is manufactured by the make Mini and the line of cars is Coopers. Until this I always thought that Mini Coopers were Mini Coopers and always wondered why I never saw regular full-sized Coopers. I figured that the Minis were just exceedingly more popular for some reason. To be fair, I cannot think of a single other model of car from Mini. I live in the Southwest US. From about 5th grade to 8th, I had the wrong understanding of what a dildo was. My friend Joe told me that it was when you cut off someone's dick and put it on a stick. Then I mentioned that one day, and everyone was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like a corn dog. That the word teenager comes from the teen in the numbers 13 to 19. Maybe I am a moron. I don't know, but I would never made that connection before. I found out when I asked my friend, age 20, when do you stop being a teenager? You will not guess what his reaction was. Not to brag or anything, but I discovered this while in the bathtub at around age 12. At that point I knew I was destined for greatness. I am half Mexican and half Irish. Whenever I went to visit my Hispanic grandparents, I would always call them abuelito and abuelita. It was not until my senior year of high school in Spanish class that I realized abuelito is Spanish for grandpa, grandma, and not their actual names. I had the same issue with Polish grandparents. Babcia and Georgia seemed unique enough to be real names. My grandfather died when I was 13, and I remember the biggest issue of it in my head being that I could not believe his name was fucking Frank. Thanks for watching. Share your story in the comment.